Hey YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Roman, and yes, we are back with the 24 days of Vlogmas, where a bunch of content creators here on YouTube have got together and chosen 24 topics to cover over the next 24 days leading up to Christmas. And so we're all doing our own little perspectives, our experiences, our views, what we went through, what we didn't go through. We'll all be doing our own videos leading up to those days. So today's topic is your favorite Christmas movie. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, I can't just do one favorite Christmas movie. I like so many different movies, but what I can say is over the years, my favorite Christmas movie has changed. So what I decided to do was count down my favorite Christmas movies from 2000 to the oldest. And so that's about 7 movies, but these were movies that definitely stuck out to me as I was growing up, that I watched time and time over again, whether it was played on BET all the time. These are my favorite movies. And by the way, I said I was gonna do this, record this whole thing without any edits, any chop ups, just do a whole record. So let's go. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Number 6 on my list is Holiday Heart. And so I remember this movie so well. Oh my God. I remember I was at my cousin Janice's house. They lived on Cleon Street. I had just returned from living in Florida. And so I was going to this school called Frederick Douglass Middle School. I was on a step team, and I remember I was over at my cousin's house. I don't know if it was a cookout or something, but we were all watching this movie on the TV. And I think it had been out for a while, but they had the bootleg. My cousin, her man at the time, I think he came in with the bootleg. And I think that is her man still. I don't know. Forgive me, Janice. I don't be knowing family business like that. But her movie came in on the same time too. And so Holiday Heart came on. And I think I walked in the door from outside and I saw this man in a dress on. And I walked into the kitchen. I heard him still. And I came out like, oh my God. Now, you got to understand, at this point in my life, I knew that I was different, but I didn't know that it was okay to be like that publicly. So I was still like very much so in the closet, like not even no ounce of being like that. So when I saw this, I was very much so like, oh my God. So I was intrigued. Parents, if you're ever wondering what kind of movies, children watch and they kind of find an inch of themselves, or they might be feeling comfortable, this was a movie for me. I don't know about anyone else, but this definitely was one for me. And Holiday Heart came out December 10th, 2000. So I remember that year. I think it was like around 2001, because I was in the step show in our city in 2001, and we won the step show for the entire city, the Frederick Douglass male step team. So I remember this movie. The scene I remember in particular was him sitting on the couch, and he was telling her about how he was raped and all of this in the jail cell, and she was trying to convince him that this is what I think it was about, like how she wanted something for her life and she needed it. And he went off, and when he went off, it was something about that scene that made me feel like, oh, check this out.
Same page? Poor little orphan girl, she got passed around to foster homes. Well, try being passed around between 20 men in a jail cell. A place a 16-year-old should never have laid eyes on, let alone spend 10 years in. But he does, because he killed a man for beating up his mama, who then, the grateful bitch, begged the authorities to lock him up and throw away the key. So don't you tell me about being in some goddamn family loop. No. I don't want sympathy, and I ain't offering any. I like how God made me. I've always had a switch in my walk and music in my talk. And if I go tomorrow, Holiday will go happy. You know why? Because I got out this world what you're supposed to.
Exactly. So that was the moment for me that I caught and I glimpsed, and it was around Christmas time that I saw this movie. It came out December 10, 2000, the Christmas before, and I think we were just around the time gathering around with each other. It was a movie that I found to be very much so enlightening on a lot of different levels. I didn't understand the undertones of him being a transgender. I thought he just wanted to dress like a woman and he was gay, but I didn't understand it was actually more of an identity. I think his line was a switch in my walk and music in my talk or something like that. I remember that line too very distinctly. So that's number 6 on my list. Number 5 on my list was, of course, came out in 2000, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It came out November 2000. And I remember this movie because it was one of those movies where everybody wanted to go to the movie theater to see it. And my aunt will only take us to the movie theaters on Saturday matinees. And now as I'm older, I understood why. Because she didn't want to fall asleep. Because if you take me to the movies now at night, I'm falling asleep. Don't have me in the fucking movie theater at 9 o'clock trying to watch a movie. I guarantee you, I'm dozing before we even get to the movie. I don't know what it is. I prefer watching a movie at home nowadays than watching it at the theater. But anyways, so I remember her taking me and my brother to the movie theater to see this movie among many other movies during that Christmas time. And it's so funny because it was one of those moments where live action movies just came, like where you started to see cartoons become live characters. And so it was just during that era. And so I was in the movie theater like, oh my God, I thought it was the dopest thing. I thought it was so clever. Of course, I loved The Grinch. Of course, as for children, I enjoy the fact that the Grinch comes around and becomes warm-hearted to help save Christmas. But I loved the fact that Jim Carrey played the hell out of the Grinch. I couldn't believe his face. As a kid then, I couldn't believe his face was green. I was like, oh my God, how did they do this? I thought it was computer animation. So that was my number 5 movie. It was Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I really, really enjoyed that movie. My number 4th movie, oh my God, was The Preacher's Wife. And that came out December 13th, 1996. Now, I remember watching this, I want to say maybe 2000. It had to be in the 2000 because it was still a time where I was in Rochester and I was around a lot of different family. And this movie used to come on all the time on this, I think it was TBS or this network. And I had, I think I had been rummaging through the TV and I had watched the movie, and I had watched it by myself. So it wasn't like I was with a bunch of people, but I watched it during a Christmas time. This movie, to the songs that were played, to the actors, I think Denzel did a wonderful job. And I called my aunt a little bit before this recording, and I asked her what was some of her favorite Christmas movies. And I told her The Preacher's Wife. I don't know if she remember. I was like, I don't know if you remember The Preacher's Wife. And she was like, yeah. And she said for herself that wasn't even a movie that she liked it, but for her it was a remake of a 1947 film called The Bishop's Wife. So I told her I would have to check that out. It's a black and white film. And so for me though, I enjoyed The Preacher's Wife. I enjoyed her singing. I remember the one scene where she was in the bar and she was singing. I think Denzel was like, I would love to hear your voice or something like that. And she got on the stage and she sang, was it You Who Can Imagine You and Me? Not you, no, not that song. It was another song that she sang. It's not coming to me. Yeah, but I enjoyed that movie too. Wow, I haven't saw The Preacher's Wife in a long time. I have to catch that up. I know it's showing on some channel, if not BET. My number 3 film, or number 2 film, or number 3 film is, of course, it came out in 95. It's Toy Story. Now, Toy Story, I remember this because my grandmother she had a son. I think he was born in 95. So he was very, very much so young when this movie came out. Or he was 92. I don't know. He was young. He's my uncle, but he's my younger uncle. So I always talked to him when he was younger. So when the Toy Story came out, I think I was a little bit older than all of the other kids, him, my brothers, and stuff like that. And my grandmother decked my little uncle's room out in Toy Story everything. He had Woody. And so not only did we go to the movies to see the movie, he had the movie at home. This is when the movies came in the plastic boxes where you pull the boxes off. The white plastic boxes with the film. Oh my God. He had all of the movies. And so we would sit and watch it all. We would, spend the night at my grandmother's house, and we would have sleepovers, and we would watch that movie over and over and over again. And at the time, I don't think I had a problem with it. I think I enjoyed it. So to this day, when I see Toy Story and stuff like that, it always reminds me of like Christmas time. Him getting the Woody, him getting all that stuff during Christmas. It really reminds me of my little uncle. Like, I swear to God, he was little Woody. And my little brother too. They both were like very, very much so tight. He used to call his grandmother, his mom, my grandmother, Ma, would you tell Roman to leave me alone? He keeps on bothering me. I used to get on that boy nerves. So yeah, that was my third movie. My second movie is A Christmas Story, and A Christmas Story came out in when did A Christmas Story came out? November 21st. No. Oh, 1983. I don't know why I don't have the date here. I have everybody else's date but this one. But this one came out in the year of 1983. It had to be around Christmas time. But the reason this movie is like a movie that's one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies is because not only for a number of the scenes, but when I was in like middle school and high school and elementary school, whenever we had movie time, this was one of the safe movies that they put on. It was like we all knew the scenes. Literally, people would probably put their heads down and stuff like that. But one of my favorite scenes is, Lord, this scene kills me, is when the father's lamp leg comes home and they rush to open the box and the wife is like, oh. And then so he's like, let's go outside to see it. And she turns it on and all the neighbors come to look at it. And she's just standing there like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
It's indescribably beautiful. It reminds me of the 4th of July. Turn off all the lights. I want to see what it looks like in the street.
I'll go get the Danny. Couldn't we talk this over? Honey.
Move it a little bit to the right. Yeah, a little that way. Just a little more to the right. Yeah, more. That's it. Don't stop right there. That's wonderful. Hey, Parker, what is that? Don't bother me now, sweetie. Can't see I'm busy. Yeah, but what is that? It's a major award. A major award? Shucks, I wouldn't have known, Dad. It looks like a lamp. Well, it is a lamp, you nincompoop, but it's a major award. I want it. Damn hell, you say you want it? Yeah. Mind power, sweet, mind power.
The entire neighborhood was turned on.
Oh, you should see what it looks like.
That shit had me rolling like, what in the hell? And then another scene was when the boy got his tongue stuck on the pole, and then everybody's in the classroom outside looking. And then he comes in with a bandage on his tongue. And I'm like, this can't be for real. So when I was younger, of course, as the years went on, it wasn't as funny. But as I'm older now, because some of these movies I haven't saw in a long, long time, but they just remind me of so many different times of my younger days. And then finally, oh my God, finally, my number one movie is The Wiz. And this one came out in 1978, October 24th, 1978. And I remember being at my cousin's house, Janice's house. her mother's house where everybody was over there. And I don't know if it was a random Christmas weekend leading up to it. It could have even been Thanksgiving, but I know it was this holiday time. We were all in the house watching this movie. It came on cable, and it was just like, I don't think we was doing nothing, and I think we were all downstairs watching it. And I remember seeing all the different colors and being so intrigued into the movie. Evelyn's Sweatshop, Ease on Down the Road, You Can't Win. There's so many different things from this movie that I love. Lena Horne, that's when I really first learned about who she was. But my all-time favorite was the Evelyn Sweatshop. That whole entire freaking scene was amazing to me. I still remember to this day. I remember being on the step team in my stepping days and us wanting to use this theme as a theme for the step show. But because it was so dramatic and because it was so heavy in choreography, we just really didn't go with it. We canned it. We went with business and still won that year. But this was a movie that I definitely celebrated. Even as the years went on, I would still catch a glimpse of it on different shows. Of course, BET. I remember someone near and dear to me. He played in the play The Wiz. I remember them singing, doing the Wiz gospel at the church. So there was so many different things associated with The Wiz. So whenever I think about Christmas movies or I think about a movie to put on or something to watch, my first go-to is always The Wiz. A great message. Michael Jackson killed it. Oh my God, even the Scarecrow scene when the scarecrows were telling him to cite the commandments and he's citing the commandments. And I think one of the commandments was, I will read the news every day and I will never come off the pole. And to this day, like, that shit is so funny. So I love The Wiz. It has so many dynamite characters. And if you think about it during that time frame, coming out in 1978, this was so powerful. So that would be my number one Christmas movie amongst all of these various movies. Now, what I need you to do is drop down in the comments below and you let me know, what were some of your favorite Christmas movies? Did we share some of the same Christmas movies? What are some other different scenes from some of your favorite Christmas movies? I'd love for you to share those comments. And so be looking forward to tomorrow, day 2 of Vlogmas, where we will be talking about our favorite Christmas playlist. So check out tomorrow. I'm assuming this will be some music, and if so, oh, you already know who's at the top of my music for Christmas playlist. But you have to stay tuned and you have to check it out tomorrow. So until next time, deuces.